Welcome to EMG Radio episode number 21. This is Randy, and what you're going to hear tonight is the second part, the conclusion of the interview with Daniel Maldonado, who I'm pretty sure I mispronounced his last name the first time, and he was just too nice to say anything. Hopefully I got it right this time. You'll notice we recorded the whole interview in two parts, and this part contains sections from both parts. So there will be some changes in the audio quality on our voices. I believe we both switched microphones partway through. Anyway, one final thing while I still have you here is this Sunday, which is, what month is it? July 14th. It'll be the 1 year birthday, anniversary, whatever you want to call it, of EMG Radio. That's right, the first episode went up 1 year ago on the 14th. So, we're going to double up on you this week and hit you with a live episode Sunday. We'll be streaming it to YouTube, and if you're interested in checking that out, keep an eye out on our Facebook fan page, the facebook.com/electronic musicians group, or twitter.com/EMG artists. We'll announce the time and throw out the links for when we do that. Until then, enjoy this episode. Okay. All right, I'm going to set you up, and basically you're going to say that again.
Okay.
And guess what? More music.
Then this is... Oh god, I'm sorry.
What is your ultimate goal in creating music? What would you like to accomplish?
I have an ultimate goal. Well, the one that I have the most clearest goal is for Thaumiel Sonozaki, and that is, and I guess I mentioned it before, but the main goal is to have my music played by a big orchestra. That's my ultimate goal. Even especially, if I could conduct it too, because I was a drum major in high school, so if I could be there, just directing an entire orchestra playing my own music, I think that would be the ultimate goal for that. And then for my metal bands, I guess, I'm not really looking to be, I guess, how do I say this? I don't write music to be famous. Even the orchestra thing, I don't mind if it's, my old high school orchestra playing it, even that would be, I would consider that, but I'm not really, I don't write music really for fame. Even if it's playing with an orchestra and there's not even an audience there, that I would consider, satisfying the goal. I guess it's I write music to write music. If people listen to it, I'm very, that makes me glad, but it's I don't care if it charts or anything. I really doubt my music would, but that's not something I'm searching for. I'm not looking to become rich at all. Maybe sustaining some kind of living off of it, that would be nice, but...
Yeah, that's the main thing, and some people don't understand that, but that's how it is for me, too. It's just kind of the act of making the music. If I could find, a small audience that enjoys it, that'd be great, and even better if I could, make a little bit of money to sustain making more music, but fame and money, were never my goals, and I don't think... obviously people do get into making music to accomplish those goals, but I don't think it's definitely not the wise thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it's a very small percentage, and really that small percentage that actually does make it oftentimes isn't making any music of real substance, in my opinion,
Yeah.
Because it's not coming from the right place, and there needs to be soul behind it.
Yeah, it's not coming from a real place, a lot of some of these artists nowadays, they aren't, it seems it's not that their music isn't good, but it's their music isn't genuine. It seems almost like it's just mass-produced, generic stuff. They say that music, that pop songs are basically becoming simpler and louder. apparently. That's I guess what they say scientifically.
Really?
Yeah.
I would believe it.
Like, I guess they said they're using a lot more compression nowadays.
Oh yeah, that's something that's been going on for a while, and it's the whole loudness war, where it's all got to be loud, and naturally, it's just going to get louder and louder if they're constantly trying to outdo themselves in terms of loudness. But even like bands that start out pretty well, if they blow up and become huge and well known, making lots of money and all that. Even if they're good bands, a lot of times you still see that like decline in the quality of music, and I think it's an issue of like when they start, they have that soul and that need to like just want to make music and get it out there and this and that, and then eventually even the good bands, like, it just becomes a job, and that's where it starts to lose.
Yeah.
How long do you see yourself making music?
Until the day I die. Really, that's the only answer I could give.
That's the answer I always get, and that's the answer I would give. I'm curious. Eventually, I'm going to come across somebody who is going to say something different, and I'm curious to see why. But
well, the thing is that the projects that were my main influences, it seems like the three of them, Hoyland, Melancholia, and Ezra Yates. Like, it seems at the moment I think Melancholia I think he said he's pretty much done. Like, now he runs Nine Gates, which is the label that I'm assigned on. But, yeah, like, him, I guess. I guess, to say until the day I die, that might be a bit hasty to say, because it seems them, even the solo artists, many times they go out, it's because they lose inspiration. So I guess, like, I don't want to stop making music, but I guess maybe there will be a day that I do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, did you, since it came up, did you want to talk about Nine Gates?
Oh yeah, so I think it was back in like November. Mike, he was saying, I guess he wasn't on the label anymore because the one that he was on was pretty much going away. I think it was Cordier 23, and so I guess he didn't really have a label, and all the labels he was trying to contact, they didn't give him a response. So he said, you know what, I'm going to make my own label. And he asked people to help him, and I was one of the people who was there at the beginning. I mean, I didn't really do much, but, I guess I was there in support.
Sure.
But, it's a pretty good label, like, it's a label, it's like by the artists for the artists,
Uh-huh.
And, it's in the genre that, that I love, the genres, like dark ambient, even some metal, like I think, that one band, you mentioned on the blog, what were they called? I forgot what they were called, but it was like an ambient doom. It was like the final cut is fatal. I think it was called the song.
Oh yeah, something Merciful Gallows.
Yeah, Merciful Gallows. Yeah, that's all the projects that he has on there.
Yeah, it was cool that he let me use that track for our SoundCloud, and also you hooked me up with that piano version of Circular Logic for SoundCloud. So I definitely appreciate that. And that piano version is awesome, man.
Oh, thanks.
Have you released that anywhere else?
No, actually, that's for an upcoming album.
Really?
It's for a project that I'm going to do. Because all of the songs that I do, they're based in synths and everything. So I want to make an album that's like, it sounds a lot more real. I guess it's like a little step closer to my ultimate goal. Because I have some good plugins now. Like I have Miroslav Philharmonic. That's what I'm primarily using.
Philharmonic, man. I've just got a hold of that and have been using that too. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good. Circular Logic, it's a piano version. Because it was originally supposed to be like, I guess, a music box, harpsichord, all that. And, have I mentioned the story of that song also?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it has to do with religion, or my religious views.
Okay.
And even the music itself has some symbolism to it. Circular Logic is, because I was born into a Catholic family. And my family, of course, is very, very devout. But around the time I was about maybe 12 or 13, I started to fall away from it. And I'd say I was about 14 or so when I finally, I said, in my mind, there is no God. So, I'm an atheist now.
Mm-hmm.
And then circular logic is, well, that's kind of how the Bible is, who created the universe? God. Who said it was created? Who said it? Who created it? The Bible. And then who wrote the Bible? God. So it's kind of like, if you try to get an answer, you're just going to go into a loop. So like that's why the song it repeats quite a bit. And then it's like, the intro is like, that's me being, it's the loop, the loop, the loop. And then when it goes into the next section, that's like, I guess it symbolizes me questioning that loop. And I'm not saying that Christianity is, I'm not definitely saying, there is no God. Like, I guess I'm somewhat of an agnostic. I'm like an agnostic atheist. Like, there could be a God, but as far as I know, there isn't. But I guess, that section right there, it's like, it's me questioning it. And then the end is like, well, I guess I've made my decision. I've come to the conclusion. I guess, so there's the symbolism, like, I guess it's like, that's why there was a music teacher I had, and he said, music can tell the story that you don't want to tell, or you can't tell through words. So it's like, that song tells a story without any words.
I like that.
And that's pretty much what the first album is. Like, the first album is like my autobiography, essentially. Like, the creation is supposed to symbolize, when I was born. And then Black and Frost is like, you don't, like, I exist, but you don't know you exist because you have no memory. The third song, it has a funny name. It's called Träumen. That means dreaming in German. And it's like, you're there, but your existence feels like a dream. When I was like 3 or 4. Memories of Our Ancestors is like, Memories of Our Ancestors. Actually, that one I put quite a bit of thought into, believe it or not, even though it doesn't sound very complicated. So it's a combination of the style of music of the Aztecs as well as European. Because Aztec music, they would have a double flute. So one that plays a drone note, and the other one plays a melody. So it's like, there's just a drone and then the melody playing. But then there's a string instrument, because string instruments are a European Middle Eastern, the old world invention. So it's like, and then it plays more of European style. So it's like, because I'm Mexican, so it's like, I have European and Indian ancestry. And then Beautiful Abyss, the song title, I guess that's how I would describe my childhood. It's like, my childhood seemed kind of bleak. I didn't have a bad childhood, but it was just very bleak, But it was still a good childhood. And then Pure Emptiness, that song actually was how I felt after, around the time of 9/11. Like, so it's like, it seemed like, why would people cause such hurt to other people? It's like, that's when I found out humans can be really evil.
How old were you about then?
I was in second grade at the time.
Second grade. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm 19, and then Absolute Truth is like, you're a kid, you want to be right, but everyone tells you that you're wrong, I guess. Like, that's what it kind of has to do with, like, everyone says you're wrong. And then Circular Logic, I'm explaining that Discovery, half of it is about, like, it's like, that's when I started becoming a real into the music that I listen to now. So it's like I've discovered the music, you know? And then the second half is dedicated to my grandmother who died back in 2006. And then Ghost is kind of like Pure Emptiness, like, you know, a song about everything just seems empty, you know? Like, I guess I have depression, so it's like, I have moments where it's like, everything just feels empty. And then Ghost, Look Into the Sky and Dream is like, it's like, it feels like things are getting better even if they're bad. That's what that song's about. And then the last song, Sekai no Seishin, it means Spirit of the World. That song is also very symbolic, and it's also kind of sad what it's about, I guess. But it's like, it wants to return to the time of the beautiful abyss, but it knows it can't. So like, there's that melancholy of you know, nostalgia that, you know, it's like, you remember how it felt back then, but you'll never feel it again the same. So all the songs, they have a symbolism to them.
I like the idea of it's like a concept album. You definitely have all these meaningful layers attached to the songs that threads throughout the whole album. Anymore, I listen to a lot of instrumental music because there's a story or a meaning you can put to it that doesn't necessarily need words, and it's there. But then also as a listener, somebody else they can tap into like the feeling you meant to put there, but also pull like their own story out of it too.
That is exactly the reason why I made it like that. Like, I mean, I have my own stories to them, but, I want the listener to also, maybe, pure emptiness, like say that specific song, they associate it with an event in their life, it's like I want the songs to be able to apply to them. That's why I don't really want to put like a definite meaning to them. So like the audience, the listener, I guess, is the one who decides ultimately what the song means to them.
Which is like the sign of great music, I think.
Thank you.
Now this next question, especially, and from my point of view, like it might be different, especially because you're quite a bit younger than me. Because let's see, you were in second grade when 9/11 happened. So the music industry's kind of always been in this weird state, as far as like you can recall, with the digital distribution issue. But how do you feel about where it's at now? Like, with the ability for us to like directly release out into the world versus the way it used to be, where you had to have a record label, or you're either not releasing anything, or you're kind of contained within your local area.
I can see the good and bad in that, because many times, back in the day, there might have been an artist that was really, really good, but they never got noticed by a label. And, artists that were on labels might have sucked horribly. There's a lot of, especially, I guess, the idea of the one-hit wonder it seems like that's, how do I say this? It's like there was a lot of those back in the 80s. Like, because, they thought they were going to be a good artist, but then, nowadays, however, we have Bandcamp. It seems everyone has a Bandcamp. And, there's a lot of good music on there, I mean, that's where I release I'm not saying I'm good, but, that's where I release my music. But it seems there's also a lot of artists who, they don't, like, they just want to release music maybe to make a few dollars, like, they don't really have it, like, they're just like, hey, I recorded something, buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems there's some of those nowadays. And it also seems like there's a lot of artists coming out. Like, especially with how easy it is to get software, and how easy it is to record now, because back then also you had to have a label to record, even if it was, analog, which, I guess some would say is primitive now to what we have. But, only the big studios had that. You had to go to a big studio. You couldn't really record at your house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was way different.
But I think the good thing is that it gives us a lot more choice of what we listen to. Like, we can have artists that appeal to very specific areas, like the music I make might not appeal to a lot of people. My music isn't very popular, but there are people out there who do enjoy it. Like, I noticed actually there's a lot of fans that I have are from Russia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. Like, I noticed that in the stats, and even, a lot of the people who post. It's cool. And then also, what's really cool as well is that it lets you get to more people. Like, back in the day, like, say, one of my favorite albums now is Brave Murder Day by Catatonia. It came out like 1996. I don't think it was that available, here in the United States at the time, because they're from Sweden. But now, if someone, hey, you should check out Catatonia. Okay. They go to, maybe they buy it from somewhere on the internet, or they might even torrent it. But either way, the music can spread very easily. And also when it comes to piracy, I mean, I can see, it does hurt the industry, but at the same time, it seems like the industry, it seems they care more about themselves than the artists,
Oh, for sure.
There's like Bandcamp, you pay the artist directly, not, more than likely, not really a label. I mean, I guess, there are labels at Bandcamps. Like, I think Nine Gates does, but a lot of their music is free, and, I know Mike's a very good man. So, I don't think he'll be all corrupt and take all the money. you know. But yeah, it seems like, now the artist is the one who's in control, and I think that's one of the things that the music industry is kind of afraid of. It's like I think the industry, their days are kind of numbered, I guess. Like, it seems now it's viral videos, that one stupid song, Rebecca Black, that was popular. But I think she had some kind of label or something, but still, it was YouTube that really put her out there. It wasn't really the label.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it seems like now it's the power of the people that's taking over music.
I agree.
When it comes to downloading, I'm not gonna lie, I've downloaded some albums in my days. You might want to cut that out just in case of, legal reasons.
If they're listening.
But you know what though? Like, my favorite bands are Opeth and Catatonia. I'm gonna go see them in concert in a few weeks. And the only reason I know about them is because I pirated their albums. But then later on, I loved their music so much that I decided to buy them. Catatonia is actually the band that I have the most CDs of. I think I have like 4 or 5 of their albums. Opeth, I have a few of their albums as well, like that I actually purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So, even I think piracy can lead to album sales, like say, because I don't think there are that many people who are like, I only pirate, like if they really like music, and if they have the money. Also, that's another thing is, people, many times they don't have money. CDs can be expensive as hell. And also, that's a good thing about Bandcamp is that many times, you can pay what you want, especially if, you're poor, you can only give a couple dollars, something that'll help. And then even also what's cool is that I've heard stories about people who've been paid a lot. Like, I guess they like their album so much that they actually give them quite a bit of money. Like, even more than a CD would be worth.
Yeah, I like that. I like the name your own price thing. Like, if they want to set a minimum, that's cool. I understand that. But, like, I like the idea that if you're really into it, you can, like, give them more. And, of course, not everybody's going to do it, but I think it's a good system.
Yeah, I haven't made that much. I think in total I've made about $8 specifically from the album Scarlet Ethereal. But hey, for once I'm actually paid to make music.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I guess it's a step in the right direction.
What are you gonna bless our ears with now?
This is from Antecantamentum. This is a song called Ghagiel and Chokmah.
If you could collaborate with any other musician in the world, living or dead, who would it be and in what capacity?
I think the musician I'd like to collaborate the most with would probably be like with a metal band, probably like Catatonia or Opeth, my favorite bands. What I would do, I'm not really sure. I guess just working with them would be like a dream come true. Like even if it's something like fetching coffee, even.
You do whatever they told you to do, right?
The thing is, though, I think my musicianship isn't really that good, like to really be able to work with them, at least at this time.
All right. Now, on the flip side, think of a musician you can't stand. If for some reason you were forced to work with them, who would it be, and what would you have them do?
Blood on the Dance Floor. That's my Blood on the Dance Floor, Broken Side. Those are my two least favorite artists. Yeah, what would I have them do? Nothing. No, but I don't really know what I'd have them do. But it's just that it seems their music is it's like there's no substance to it. Like it's just designed to sell. I don't really know. I guess I'd have them try to put more into their music, into the playing of music rather than their lyrics.
From what I could tell, and I kind of like the answer, basically, if you had to work with them, what you would do is make them make their music better.
Yeah.
It's like you stay away from my music and make your music better.
Yeah.
Now, this one's one of those kind of tricky questions, but if you can, off the top of your head, what are 3 or 4 of your all-time favorite albums? What are the first albums that pop to mind?
Some of the albums that really pop to mind would have to be, well, I have my CD collection right here, but I'd say definitely Catatonia. I think the album Brave Murder Day, that album's influenced me quite a bit. Oh, I think Red by King Crimson was actually also a very influential album. At the very moment, like in the past couple weeks, I've actually been listening to My Bloody Valentine, to their album Loveless. And I think that album will kind of influence me. Oh, the album Rune by Enslaved, that was also a very influential album, especially, pretty much the band Enslaved in general. Like, their usage of like the way they write their corporations. Actually, one day, they were having a Twitter Q&A, and I managed to ask them a question about how they write their chord progressions, and they said their main influences when it comes to that specifically were like King Crimson, Pink Floyd, and Mayhem. So it's like one of the things that I've kind of been getting into is also listening to the bands that influence me.
Yeah, sure, man. That's a good way to discover music that maybe you hadn't given a chance to before.
I guess it's like when it comes to the music that I make, it's like the bands that influence me, it's almost like I see it almost like a family kind of thing. It's like you created the music, but ultimately it's like musically it came from the influences. So it's like that's really the father of your music in a way. And then the bands that influence them are like grandfather influences, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
So it's like, in the past year I've been listening to Pink Floyd, My Bloody Valentine, since I listened to a lot of like shoegaze black metal.
Name an artist that you absolutely love but are embarrassed of when people find out.
I don't really think I have anything like that. Or not really, but genre-wise, it's called Vocaloid music.
Vocaloid?
Yeah. It's I think I've actually posted about it a couple times in the group. But it's like it's basically all these artists, like all these electronic musicians around the world, and Vocaloid, it's a software program that basically emulates the human voice. So I guess it's kind of like a VST. It uses MIDI data, and each one has like different. There's like characters that have like the voice settings, and it's like you input the lyrics and you put like the MIDI data for like the vocal track. So basically, you can create vocals through it.
That's kind of interesting.
It's primarily from Japan because English is very difficult to because English has a lot of different sounds to it, whereas Japanese is all syllables, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, but I've also been working on it myself as well.
How is it?
It's pretty cool. I mean, really, it's all MIDI. So it's like, you make the melody of the vocal track, and then you input the lyrics, and you can actually hear it like singing, pretty much.
How does it sound?
Well, the older versions sound very computerized, but now it's on Vocaloid version 3, so they do sound more human-like. And a lot of these, like, because there's one that I like to use. It's called the IA, and it's based on the Japanese singer named Leah. And what I've heard was because Leah, she does theme songs for anime series. Like, and I heard one. This guy, he did a cover of the intro to one of those anime series, but using the Vocaloid, and it sounded really good. It sounded almost like her. I mean, you can still hear the computer component of it, but it still sounded like her.
That's interesting.
And yeah, it has a huge fan base. Like, I mean, like these videos, they have like millions and millions of views, a lot of fans from around the world. Especially, I think, in Mexico and Japan. It seems like those are the top countries. And the Philippines. It seems like that's where most of the anime, Japanese video games, all that, fans, where they're from. They call themselves otakus, but that's not really a word you want to call yourself if you know the Japanese connotation behind it.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, it means like basement dweller.
Really?
It means like, yeah, because like there's two different words that people usually call them. Like someone who is not Japanese but pretends to be like that, who's super into all this. They call them weeaboos. And basically, you don't want to be called that. And then they call themselves otakus, but they don't realize that there's a negative connotation behind it in Japan.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's like, I'm an otaku, but it's like, otaku and weeaboos are almost exactly the same thing, pretty much. These people.
All right. What have you been listening to lately?
Lately, over the past couple weeks, I've been listening to My Bloody Valentine. I've been getting into Catatonia a lot more, especially because I think I actually mentioned that I was going to go see them in late May, and I saw them twice. I've been getting into them a lot more. But what's odd, though, is that usually it seems like once a year I have this one band that I listen to a lot. Like 2011, it was Dream Theater that I listened to pretty much all the time. Now I hardly listen to them at all. Or, 2010, it was Opeth. No, 2009, it was Opeth for me. 2010, it was Enslaved and Nocturnal Mortem. But Catatonia has, I've been listening to them for like 2 years straight, pretty much. And I still don't feel myself getting burned out from them.
That's cool. That's a sign of a good band right there.
And I mean, I saw them twice within 2 days. I saw them in Agora Hills. I saw them with Opeth. And that was a really good show. But Opeth was the headliner of that show. But it's really cool though, because both those bands are like pretty much that's like my top two right there. So that show was, it was incredible.
Yeah, man, that's the dream show right there.
Yeah. I mean, I got those tickets in January for like, I got 2 tickets for me and my friend. It was like $70. Like last minute, one of my friends invited me to go see Catatonia again because they came back to Los Angeles. Because Opeth, their last show was it was near San Francisco, but Catatonia, I guess, they just came back to Hollywood. So we saw them at the Roxy, but they were the headliner that time. So they played a lot more songs. They played, and especially they played some of their older songs too. And I even got to meet them.
Really? How was that, man?
Oh, it was awesome. And then I asked them a couple questions, or I asked the vocalist a question, because there's this one song from like one of their old albums. But I asked him like what was the meaning behind it, but it was too long ago, so he didn't really remember. However, my other friend, he actually asked the guitarist, he asked him which album was more fun to record, their first album or their second album. He said it was their second album, Brave Murder Day. And then I think if you see my cover photo on Facebook, it's a picture of us, of me and my friend at each end, but with Catatonia there. And the drummer has both thumbs up.
Nice.
Yeah. And I got a CD signed with him. But yeah, that was a good show.
How long ago was that?
That was like at the end of May.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What are you going to bless our ears with now?
This is a song from you can call it my main band, Invoke the Wake. This is A New Suffering.
shifting away from music, outside of music, what else do you like to do? Hobbies or gaming, whatever.
It's kind of odd. I'm probably one of the few people in the world who almost never plays video games. I don't own any consoles, so like this whole Xbox One versus PS4 thing is kind of nothing to me, really.
Sure.
Once in a while, though, I do play some games, but usually it's like older games. Like my favorite video game is for the Sega Genesis. It's Phantasy Star 4.
I don't think I played that one.
Well, the Phantasy Star series, or at least the original ones. Like I think just recently I played on my old tablet before it got broken. I played Phantasy Star 1 on an emulator. But yeah, usually I guess like I prefer the old RPGs, the old Sega games. Oh, and another thing I like to watch anime as well.
Which shows are you really into?
Some of my favorite ones were one called Another that actually wrote the EP Sanguine about. Because it's like, I guess it's kind of like Final Destination, but like an anime version. And my absolute favorite was one called Higurashi no Nakukoro ni. And actually even the name of my project has a reference to that. Because the last name Sonozaki is the last name of some of the characters in it.
Oh, that's right, and it's got the both the first and last names of Thaumiel Sonozaki has kind of a duality theme to it.
Yeah, and also Elfen Lied. It's very, very violent, but it's very good.
What was that last one?
Elfen Lied. It also has a very good soundtrack, especially the intro to it. It's like because most anime, they have like J-pop or whatever, but that one actually has an orchestral intro with an opera singer. It's a song called Lilium. It's like I've arranged it multiple times. I even did an ambient version of it.
Well, this next question might kind of cross over into the last one, but what is your geekiest interest? What do you fanboy over?
I guess anime, really. Like I'm watching quite a few shows at once. Actually, I downloaded quite a few of them. I have it on my external hard drive right here, so I have quite a bit to watch over the summer.
What are you watching right now?
At the moment, I'm watching one. I haven't seen it in a week or so. I forgot which one it was. It's like the sequel to Higurashi. Apparently, it's called Umineko, and apparently, it's a total mind hump.
Yeah,
it's just like there's so many twists and turns that I've heard.
Now, do you watch? Is it pretty much exclusively series, or do you ever watch any anime movies?
Movies, not that often, really. But
oh, really?
I don't really know of that many. But I mean, I am a big fan of Hayao Miyazaki. Actually, my favorite movie of all time is Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even the soundtrack to it is even one of the things that's influenced me a lot. From Johi Saishi, that man's just his music is incredible.
I was for whatever reason, which is the one with the girl and her parents turn into pigs? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. For whatever reason, I like that one. That one appeals to me more than Princess Mononoke. But have you ever seen Grave of the Fireflies?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. I've heard it's really sad.
Oh, that's the most depressing fucking movie ever. Like, there's that and Schindler's List. Those are the two most depressing movies ever.
Oh, gosh.
But, it's kind of messed up, but that is kind of the category I put it into. It is very sad.
I mean, they take place around the same time, don't they?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Isn't it like a World War II?
Yeah, they're both, wartime movies for sure, yeah. Let's take a break from all this talking and listen to some music. What are you going to play for us?
This is from one of the most recent tracks from Thaumiel Sonozaki. This is The Outer Reaches, and it features a little clip from Gustav Holst's Neptune, by the way, in case if you're wondering.
What is next for you? Upcoming album, shows, projects?
Okay, I have quite a bit coming up. Okay, so for Thaumiel Sonozaki, I have three things actually at the moment. I'm like remaking some of the older songs, but I'm making them sound like I'm trying to, as much as possible, make it sound like a real orchestra. I have Mirosel Philharmonic, and I'm basically doing like orchestral versions of the old songs. Like I think you actually posted the piano. Like I have a piano version of Circular Logic.
Yeah, that's on. You sent it to me to put up on the EMG SoundCloud. That track is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I really like the piano version of that a lot.
I haven't heard that in a while. I think it's like almost all piano. Like I don't know if it would be possible for a human piano player to actually play all those notes, unless if I change the instruments. Actually, I think I did. I made it like a vibraphone or something, like added other instruments to it. Yeah, so that's one of the things. I'm not sure when that'll come out. Probably in a few months or so. I think that one I actually might print it, because I haven't actually printed any albums.
Really? You gonna release physical of that one?
Hopefully, yeah.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to hear that one.
Thanks. In the short, like kind of a short thing, probably in the next month, maybe, like within the next month, the next few weeks, I'm making another EP. It's called Mara, and it's basically like a horror EP, because it's about like nightmares and sleep paralysis. It kind of goes further into what the song Consanguinity went into.
And that'll be another Thaumiel Sonozaki track or EP.
Yeah, it's just 3 songs. I posted the cover on EMG. I got like 10 likes, I think.
Oh, is that with the figure standing over the person in the bed or something?
Yeah, that's a historical depiction of someone suffering night paralysis. Like you just can't move, but like you see a demon hovering over your chest while you're sleeping.
Yeah, that's a super cool album cover, man.
Thanks. It was I found it. There's this Facebook page that's really awesome. It's called The Macabre and Beautifully Grotesque. It's like they post all this art that looks like horrifying, but at the same time beautiful. And they have like thousands of albums. So it's like I dig through it and I see and it's kind of sad. I try to see if they've been dead for longer than 70 years, so I can use their art since it would be in public domain.
Sure, yeah. It's kind of tricky to find. It's kind of tricky to find that information sometimes.
Yeah, but they have it all organized in there. So like I guess if anyone else is trying to look for like some kind of horror album cover, that would be a good place. And they even have a Theodore Kitos and the artist Burzum. He used a lot of his art. In fact, I'm even wearing my Philosophem shirt right now. Yeah, the Burzum fans will know what I'm talking about. And in the long-term goal, this is actually one that it's probably going to take me a long time to do. And I almost have a feeling I might even postpone it, but I have to really see how it goes. The next album is going to be a symphony, like a dark ambient symphony. And I really want to take my time on that one. Because, a symphony is something that it requires a lot of knowledge, and that's why I'm reading a lot on music theory, on composition. I have a lot of resources available for that, but I'm doing a lot of learning for it. And I want it to be a huge release, and not only do I want it to be an album, and this is something I might have to start like a Kickstarter or something for, or see if there are people who are willing to volunteer. I want to make an animated film with it as well.
Really?
Because it has a whole story to it, and it's an actual real story. I wanted to make an Antecantamentum album about it, but I kind of lost it. I guess that was around the time my computer crashed. Yeah, it has a story. It's there was this family in Germany back in like the 1600s, like early 1600s. The king, he wanted to have like a show trial to show like, if you commit a crime, you're gonna get messed up. So this guy, he got arrested for something. And then he accused the family of helping him, and I guess it was like witchcraft and doing a lot of horrible things, like getting babies for some kind of satanic ritual. So they just arrested the family, and to this day there's no evidence that they even knew this man. So but even then they were kind of like we don't really have any evidence, but oh well, we'll just arrest them. So they just horribly tortured the family, and they were innocent, but it's like they just horribly tortured them until they got them to confess. It's gonna have there's four different movements. There's four movements, just like a symphony, and yeah, it's a really sad story. And I want to have like kind of animation to it.
Move forward with that idea because that sounds fantastic.
I have a couple of friends who work with animation, so I'll see about because I don't want it to be like like the kind of things you'll see in like a professional level animation. Like the idea that I kind of had was like how like they had what are they called, woodcut blocks, like that kind of art that they used to have like in the 16 and 1500s, like something that like animation like of that, I guess. Like it'll be like a silent movie, or even this is really obscure, but there was something I saw. It was Dante's Inferno, but it was like a puppet show. But it's not like a puppet show like you think, but it's like professional level puppets. So I was thinking almost something like that even. Like it won't really be gory, like because I mean the details are pretty horrifying, but it won't be like you see all the veins and everything. It's like like maybe it might be appropriate for kids, I guess. Well, probably not, just because of the details behind it. But it looks like, I guess it'll be like one of those deceptive cartoons. Like it looks like it's for kids, but it's really not.
But yeah, it's really this horrible, horrible story.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it'll be for kids. I really don't, honestly. And for Antecantamentum, at the moment, we're starting recording. We're still recording the album. I think this week or next week, we're actually going to start recording drums. And Autonomy says he's actually going to send us a kick mic.
Nice.
Yeah. So I want to thank him for that. And and he's just sending it for free.
That's awesome of him, man.
Yeah.
Autonomy's a good guy.
He really is. We still have no date because it's like we're kind of on our own schedules. So I'm almost done with my guitar tracks. All I need for, at least in my part, is just vocals and a couple more guitar tracks. The other guitarist, he's recorded a couple already, and and then we need bass and keyboards and drums. But I don't think it shouldn't take. I think we should be done hopefully by mid-July at the latest, and like maybe towards the end of July we'll be done mixing, maybe mastering, and then hopefully by August. I think August might be when we might release it. And then Invoke the Wake. We're actually finally, since 2011 that we started recording this EP. We're finally gonna. I mean, or not EP. I guess it's more of a demo. We're finally gonna release it. So that was like more than 2 years already.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a long time in the making.
Yeah, so we're finally going to release it. We're going to make physical copies of it. And, I think right now we're going to get it mixed. I think right now it's being mixed at the moment. And then what else? Dracan Ceolan. I've been kind of putting it off. I still need to finish recording a song that Drazen sent me that he actually wrote the music for. That's like, I need to start recording my guitar parts for it. And I think he has his lyrics already. So then, once I'm done recording, he does his vocals for it. We'll start mixing the EP and we'll release that. Because we've been working on that since like October, I think. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's quite a that's quite a workload.
Yeah, but I mean, I have like 3 months until school. But yeah, I mean, I have plenty of time.
Where can people find your music?
Primarily, most of these things are on Facebook, but we actually do have a couple Twitters. Like Invoke the Wake is more active on Twitter than on Facebook, I think.
What's your Twitter address? Because I was doing your featured artist article, and I linked all the Facebooks and stuff, but I wasn't sure of the Twitter accounts. Okay,
Antecantamentum is at Antecantamentum. ANTECANTAMENTUM. And then I think Invoke the Wake. I think it's the same thing. Yeah, it's just at Invoke the Wake at INVOKE THEWAKE. Thaumiel Sonozaki even has a Twitter, but I almost never use that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that one I know is different from. I think that one is at THAVMIAL, because that's how it would actually be spelled in Hebrew, the Thaumiel. It'd be like Thaumiel or something like that.
Oh, I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how it would actually be spelled in Hebrew. Or I think in like modern Hebrew or something. Or ancient, I don't know. And yeah, and then Facebook, we have all the Facebook, I think, slash Invoke the Wake, I think it is, slash Antecantamentum, slash Thaumiel Sonozaki. Dracan Ceolan, I think the same thing. Since these names are kind of unique, you don't have to put. Oh, and I don't think I ever mentioned this, but I have another project that I'm also doing as well.
What? What is this?
It's a doom metal project that I made. I released a 2-song demo for it back in like December. It's called The Red Mist is Coming.
The Red Mist is coming?
Yeah.
Oh, you released it? Where can people hear that?
It's on Bandcamp. I think it's theredmistiscoming.bandcamp.com.
Holy shit, man. That's insane, dude. That's 5 projects.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh, and from Invoke the Wake, I think we even made another side project from Invoke the Wake. It's me, the drummer, and the guitarist. It's like it's gonna be like a post rock kind of thing. So 6 projects.
Insanity, man.
Red Mist is Coming. That's just something I just do on extra time. Like I just wrote those 2 songs in December, but I'm gonna make like a full length album probably in December by then. So 1 year after. That one, I think I'm not going to spend too much time on, really. Pretty much all of these, I think, except Invoke the Wake, they're pretty much all on Bandcamp. I don't know if we're going to post that one on Bandcamp. We might, but I don't know.
You don't have a Dracan Ceolan Bandcamp, do you?
We don't have anything at the moment, but we will post that soon.
Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't find that one, but I didn't think you guys had one, so.
Yeah, because we haven't... Well, I think what we might do, I think I'll have to talk to Drazen. We might like release a single or something because we've already released Gewinties before. It's actually been on 2 compilations. It was also on a compilation for a record company as well.
Really?
It was like it was one called like it was like Songs for England, since like our project is like Anglo-Saxon based kind of.
Nice, man. That's cool.
When we do finish that, we're gonna post it on Bandcamp.
Yeah, you should, because I like that a lot. Post it for no other reason other than Randy wants to hear it.
Thank you for the interview.
Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot. Some of the people that I'd like to thank also for everything would be, of course, Randal for the opportunity to talk about my music and for playing my tracks on the podcast. And also the rest of the members of EMG. And I'd like to thank Mike O'Brien for accepting my music onto his label, Nine Gates. I'd also like to thank Drazen for inspiring me actually to make this project, and also I'd like to thank Autonomy for those microphones that he sent me. They work really well. They're really going to help us out with the recording for Antecantamentum. But the one person though who's really, really helped me out the most, and without this person there'd be no Thaumiel Sonozaki at all, that would be Mark Hoyland. He's helped me out so very much, and I can't repay him for all he's done. But also, I'd like to thank the people who have downloaded, even bought the music. You guys rule.
Thank you for listening to EMG Radio. EMG Radio is an electronic media collective production for the Electronic Musicians Group and is a license under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 3.0 Unported License. All music contained within the EMG Radio podcast is property of the respective owner, subject to the respective copyright and/or licensing and used here with permission. For more EMG Radio, visit emgradio.com and check out more Electronic Musicians Group. Go to facebook.com/Electronic Musicians Group or hit us up on Twitter at twitter.com/EMGartists.
How did that sound?
It sounded good, man. I hated my intro, though.
It's alright.
I tried to make it different, and then it just ended up the same.